get me under my soul. If he's tall, or if he's tall, or if he's fat.
Is there somebody there? Hello? I can't see you. Are you there? Speak to me. I can hear you breathing. I can hear you listening. Then you must be able to hear me, too. I feel strange, as if I am submerged somehow, and yet I seem to be able to talk to you. My name is Winter. Forgive me, Jeremy Winter. I'm a professor at the University of Maine. I studied archaeology. I came here under a foolish pretense that I would be able to improve my mental health and faculties under the advice of a woman who has tricked me. Please, I know that I am incapacitated somehow, and I'm blind. I can't see you, but I can hear you breathing. I can hear you listening. You must understand that my words sound as if I am mad, stark raving mad, but the truth is, I feel more sane now than I ever have been for the last 2 years, because I know that it's real, you see. I know, and also I know that if you're here, then there's a chance you've seen it too. Perhaps that's why you're not speaking. Oh, please say something if you can. Perhaps you can't speak. Perhaps you're mute. Oh God, no. If only I'd stopped off at that hardware store longer and talked to that kind Indian woman. I'm sure she knew something. I'm sure somebody knew something. Or maybe that deputy. He looked at me in the town so strangely, as if he was keeping an eye on me. No, sorry, I'm rambling now. You must get help. I can't move my body. I can only just feel my fingers and my toes. The rest of my limbs seem distant, so far away, and now and then I imagine that I'm swimming. It feels sometimes like my whole body is swimming in a liquid of water, but something more like a salt sea, you know? I never traveled to such places. I never traveled enough. I never married. Oh, Devereaux. What? No, I mustn't. I'm exhausted. You have to understand, I'm totally exhausted. I've been like this for days now. They came. Terrible things. Something between an angel and a demon combined. Part fungus, part cephalopod. Strange, many-limbed creatures. They pretended that they were people. They were dressed like humans. They wore long coats and scarves and hats. There were 2 of them at the door, and they were speaking. But their voices were strange. They buzzed like insects. They are like insects in their way, tall and strong, and I panicked. I had the gun out by chance, and I picked it up, and I threatened them, and I said that I wanted them to leave, and they said that they wanted me to go into the ground, the burial ground, and if I did, they'd give me great favors, and that's exactly what Anastasia wanted. She tricked me, you see. She told me that if I looked at them again, I'd be able to help. But they were real. They were so real, and their sense and force is malignant. I know it in my heart. So I fired. I know that I damaged one of them. I hurt him in the throat. Something about his voice box changed. But then the other one revealed himself. I don't know what happened after that. I ran, and suddenly it was on me, and everything went black. And then I came to, and I was blind. And here, like this. And now you're listening to me, and you can help. You can get me out of this terrible situation. You can free me from these bonds, can't you? Oh, why won't you say something? Why won't you release me?
Winter, You must tell us where the device is. You must show us where the beacon lies. The beacon that they hide. The ones that claim they are like the Indians. You know they are not. You know they are not your beloved tribe. Tell us. This is your last chance before we send you on to storage.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Somebody please help me. Somebody please.
The Apocalypse Players present The House in the Woods by Gary Pilkington. A Call of Cthulhu scenario, adapted for 7th edition by Joseph Chant. Copyright Grenadier Models and Chaosium. Starring Dan Wheeler as Assistant Professor Flight Lieutenant Charles Chuck Lohman. Jeany Spark as Female Postmaster Natasha Rolyova. Danann McAleer as local lobster mogul and supplier Allagash Bunyan. And Joseph Chance as everybody and everything else.
And just as it passes through, you feel frozen to the spot as the whole of the left side goes into paralysis, and you find your body's kind of sliding backwards, but it just touched a part of your head, and you begin to see a vista of stars opening up like a corridor of darkness up towards the moon.
Oh my God.
And up there, you see spiraling in the distance Mygo, coming down the stair of darkness.
Oh my word. This is...
There's two more,
Oh.
and they're just coming down. But your left side is frozen. Now, I'm thinking you're probably right-handed.
Yeah. Yes.
Your right eye cannot see this, so you're having a kind of weird... So anything you do to try and fire weapons or anything like that will be at a penalty die.
Yeah.
And you can move your right side, so you can drag yourself around on the ground, but you are not able to stand up at this particular time. You are totally frozen. Could you give me an idea check?
Yes. Yes, I could. That's intellect, right?
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Intelligence. Yeah. It's a hard pass. It's a good pass.
So this is an incapacitating weapon, which you would suggest. You can already tell that although it's terrifying, your left side doesn't feel like pain. It just feels cold, and you become aware that maybe this thing was intended as a sort of net.
To catch us, like we catch the lobsters.
The agency is with Lohman, as he had a free shot effectively then. So,
But the two that I had seen are now out of here, right?
yeah, the one by the tree isn't moving at all. The one that's flown into the trees, you can hear kind of weird gasping, buzzing sounds, gurgles, puffs. There's a cloud of spores drifting over towards you. Perhaps you'd like to dodge away from that.
Yeah, I
Nah.
would. Just breathe in.
We've gone through.
As you think, no, I'll just breathe it in. You see one of the last of the four limbs of the thing that was pretending to be winter, reaching towards a small black box that looks like it has a sort of brass handle attached to it. It's only about 10 feet away from you, this creature. It's sort of clawing its hand through the dirt and leaves. You thought it was dead, but it seems to be some kind of vestige of life.
Okay, so instead of dodging the spores, I think I'd probably take a shot at that creature.
It's aimed, so I'll give you that bonus. Even in the dark. It's full moon. Well, not full moon. It's a beautiful crescent moon.
That's kind, because I know I wasn't aiming at it originally, but I am.
But that dodge was
zone.
superb.
So maybe I saw that movement before Allagash started shooting, actually. So I'm getting a bonus die.
Unconscious die.
Hang on. Come on. I can spend luck on this, right?
Yes, well, very much so. I mean, we are very close to the end.
I'm going to spend.
Although if you ever play him again, well, he's now on 17 luck.
17 luck now. I spent 3 points of luck, so that is a regular success on my.
That's all you need.
So roll for damage.
You roll for damage. Yeah, it's the 45, is it?
Yes, maximum damage. That's
Oh my
12
God.
points of damage.
Describe, if you dare, what actually happens.
Well, somehow his all of his anxieties that have been affecting him while firing at things in the trees, he's really steadied himself with his breathing, taking that role. So you know how sometimes doing a physical action actually sort of composes you, and all this is blocked out, and he's properly like in the moment and in his body, back in his military training, and he steadies the gun, breathes in and breathes out, and fires directly at what he thinks is the head of this creature, and it just explodes. Bits of carapace, is that what we describe it as? Yeah. Shell, like someone who's clumsily cracked a lobster shell with the crackers. It's just going.
Oh, beautiful, excellent. So then, the spore.
What a waste of lobster.
What a waste of lobster. The spore lands. So all of you are incapacitated in relation to the dodge. So it's just a constitution check for. It's just a constitution check for Rulyova and Lohman. Bunyan no longer needs to make a constitution check.
Because
he is so exposed.
He doesn't have a standing chance. Oh, I passed it.
I passed it.
Excellent. Good. So neither of you have any of the respiratory problems that I think one of you certainly has had before. I think, Rulyova, you experienced a rather negative aspect of it.
I did.
You all now need to make the power check to see how the spore is behaving in your system.
Oh, did not pass that.
Failed.
Extreme success. 11
The two
on
of you
16.
failed. Well, that's the right way round. If it was ever going to happen that way, it should have happened thus. Because Bunyan manages to take control of what is now an aggressive presence. A surge passes through you from your chest up through your throat. You can feel it passing up into your sinuses, and your eyes begin to go. You can see everything turn orange and brilliant. You can see the dying Mygo.
Oh my god.
The one by the tree is mutilated and already dead. The one directly in front of you is just dying. It was tougher than you thought. The machine that it had glitters and seems to have a sort of spectral power that you didn't quite register was there before. The thing in the woods is crawling away, and it's like the trees are disappearing, and then you feel the other thing. It's not that far away. Blue and cool. If the Mygo are orange and hot, and there's something above that you can't quite understand, and your mind wants to look up, but it won't, because it's to do with the corridor of the void. Can't see that far, it's not connected. But you feel this blue coolness up in the mounds, over there in the woods, in the ancient First Nations territory. The blue eyes, something terrifying. The Mygo are frightened of it. And then it's gone. And you're in control of this thing, just. The other two of you sense a tremendous togetherness and oneness with both of each other. You connect instantly. You're very aware of of your weaknesses and your strengths. You can feel, Loman, this paralysis on your left side starting to seep in, and you sort of have to really focus. You find your hand clenching slightly to beat it off.
I beat it off.
Inappropriate. Yellow card. To defeat the sense of paralysis. Such a charged nexus we were in there, wasn't it? Moving swiftly on. You're aware of the Mygo dying and the intense loss and the sense of, in one case, decades of understanding. In the thing that was winter, over 100 years is fading into the earth. But you begin to sense that the spores are also living in the earth and on the juices of it, and there's also still life there, and there's the hope of colony, even in death. Neither of you will want to be standing there now or in the next 20 years at that particular spot. But also you sense this kind of the longing for this object that was by the corpse of the winter Mygo. And then you're back to yourselves again.
So the thing that I was focused on, was that the sort of thing that it was trying to use as a weapon against us?
No.
That wasn't the thing it was carrying.
Do you mean that the thing that's crawling away still technically has that? That's in the woods. You didn't get a read on that.
Right.
The only thing that you got a read on with this bond, with this deeper bond with the fungoid spore connection, gave you this sense. Also, you are now aware, I think all three of you are aware that you now have been heavily exposed to this stuff. But Bunyan, you are aware that you are on the brink of being able to control this. Although, how good was your power check?
Mine was an extreme success.
Extreme success.
But then I have also ingested more spores than anyone else.
No. You look around at the other two. Everything goes sort of still for a moment. You can hear a sort of high humming, different to the buzzing, but the world seems very clear to you. For every check from here until I say so, you will gain a bonus die regarding physical interaction with the world. So combat, athletics, anything like that.
Okay.
You feel empowered.
Okay. In which case, this object on the floor by the one closest to us that we all had our attention drawn to, can we see from where we are what it looks to be, or what it's...
Yeah, it seems to be a black box with a strange handle out of it with a couple of brass rings attached on stalks. There seems to be a semi-organic aspect to the handle and the stalks, but the rings look like metal, and the box you don't know what it's made of, but it reminds you of the same kind of material as the black void gun was made of.
Unless anyone else sort of jumps in, what I'd like to do is sort of kick it away from the body of this thing. See if I can just step forward, hold my breath, and just kick it away towards the where there ain't as many spores. You
do exactly that, sort of away from the house or along the balcony.
Yeah, well, back towards the road, I guess, if that's possible.
Away from the house. So Rulyova is kind of crawling around. Where are you headed, Rulyova? Back to the wall, onto the balcony, towards Allagash. They're probably your three main targets, or to the woods to escape.
No, not to the woods. No.
Into the woods.
I think to Allagash.
Ah!
So he's kicking that away. Allagash just kicked the strange sort of cube which is attached to a handle with little brass attachments that the winter Mygo was trying to operate. So there's this humming, there's this high-pitched humming that you can all hear which begins to drop down into a slightly lower resonance.
Does it sound like it's coming from the box?
No, it sounds like it's coming from the woods, in counterpoint to up above, in the direction of the moon. You begin to hear this.
Oh fuck!
Rulyova, you instantly know what that is, because you saw it. It seems to be confirmation of what you saw very briefly. You can no longer see that. You were probably looking hundreds of miles up.
Yes.
Physically impossible. And yet...
Here they come.
Does she say that?
Yes, I think so. I think she points up with her good arm.
Rolling over.
Rolling over, points up. More of them are coming.
Postmistress Rulyova. Oh shit. How long do we have?
I don't know, not long.
Okay.
Get to the car.
Let's get to the fucking car.
I mean, it's only taking damage. You can still drive it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
At which point I'm going to say, as we start to run, I'm just going to say, this thing, whatever it is, maybe it gives them power. We need to keep it from them. And I pick up the box.
Yes.
I'll probably pull my shirt down a bit just in case it's got any sort of heat or something.
Well, this is a crucial question. Is there a cold hand, or is it a gloved hand?
I think it would be fair to say, well, I can roll for it, but my instinct would be
no.
to
you
pull
said
my
you said
shirt
it.
sleeve
Yeah.
down
So you put your shirt sleeve down. You feel an intense
and
cold
put it
as you pick up the handle.
Put it into the fishing bag that I had my semi in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Left hand paralysis.
Easy.
Keep it clean, keep it clean.
Sanity check.
These my guy, they're filthy. Could Bunyan give me a spot hidden check?
Please.
And could Loman and Rulyova roll their Cthulhu mythos for me?
I feel disinclined, if I'm honest, to allow Allagash to just pick this thing up.
Oh, I like it. Hold that thought.
Okay. I failed my spot hidden, if that helps the situation.
Your sleeved hand goes on to the item, and your eyes flick around the woods. You don't see anything. Was that with a bonus die? Just Loman, before we get back to your potential interrupt. Excellently played, might I add. Did you take a bonus die? Because it's a physical. It's a physical action, and the
I didn't know.
Please, could you give me another 100s roll?
What was that for?
Keep your units. It's the sheer power of the spore in you is enabling you to see better.
The power of the spore compels you.
Power spore compels you. Power spore.
Well, I just rolled an 80 on that.
So both were failed.
That's the power of spore.
Yeah.
What was your first roll? It was a fail.
But that was for the spot hidden, right?
Yeah, the first spot hidden was a fail,
yeah.
and the second spot hidden was a fail as well.
Yeah, they were both fails. One
Okay,
was
no problem. Yeah, no problem. That's the way it goes. To be honest, that might be a good thing. That might be a good thing at this stage.
Not narratively, but for my character.
For your character. No, and narratively potentially too. So yeah, you're about to put your hand on this thing, and what is your dexterity again? Remind me, Loman. And what's your dexterity, Allagash? I'm so sorry. I should know this by now.
40.
Mine's 50.
Okay.
55.
So the slightly faster younger man, what do? As the poor woman is incapacitated on the ground. I have rolled a number of rounds, by the way.
I passed my
do know how
Cthulhu
long
mythos test, by the way.
We'll get back to that in a second. We'll get back to that in a second.
Right?
We're slightly retconning because, quite rightly, Dan has said, and it's frustrating, isn't it? So we're going back. All of these things will still happen, but at the point of contact with the thing, what do you do, Loman?
I say, whoa there, Bunyan. What do you think you're playing at with that thing? We should just destroy it. Throw it back down. I'll shoot the damn thing.
I mean, to be honest, I'm happy to roll in response to that if you want to do a persuade or a shot, but my instinct as a character is to just fuck that right off and carry on picking it up, I'm afraid. And just be like, well, we'll discuss it later.
Is it a
while I wait to the
persuade?
car.
I pull my... no, it's not a persuade.
You bring your what?
I've got my gun in my hand. I just sort of make a show of it. I mean, what I'm really doing is saying, let me shoot. Yeah, I'm saying, let me shoot that thing. But I think the weight of the gun in my hand, I'm showing it to Bunyan. I'm like, don't mess around with it.
Here. We don't have time here. This could be full of spores. It could be full of stuff. It could be full of fucking lobster. We don't know what it's full of.
Is it an intimidate? Is that what you were doing?
It's an intimidate.
Yeah, I'll give him the agency of the roll. Yeah. Let's try it.
Fair.
No, that's a fail.
And I think there was either a fast talk or a persuade coming back at you. So let's get that roll. Whichever one you wanted. It looked like you were trying to be quite rational about it.
I mean, I was trying to be quite rational, so maybe I'll go persuade. It's not good either way.
No,
you twat.
Seems harsh.
16.
Oh my
on
God,
a 60 persuade.
You've more than passed.
Sorry, mate. I know that's not really fair character-wise, but
Well,
it is
no,
a
but I
It's fine.
think what you realise in that moment, Loman, perhaps as a go-between here, I'm going to suggest is that this guy has been through a lot, and actually he had more power than you ever suspected. Certainly back in Bangor, he was a revelation, because what you thought was a sort of bumbling, oafish kind of character turned out to have fingers in pies everywhere, and now he's taken this very well. He's not kind of come back at you with his Thompson. He's just gone, I think maybe we should have this. So I think for this
Hasn't
split
come back
second,
with his Katarina Johnson Thompson.
He whips out his Thompson.
what is it about this?
Thompson.
This ending is... Oh, don't. Let's not even talk about endings. Okay. Which I think neatly brings us, as the two of you are having this rather butch standoff.
I mean, I kind of imagine it's not even like a full-on
it's
intimidate,
fragments.
persuade thing. It's like we're running, and we're sort of, what are you doing?
I think there is a sense of movement. You're probably off the porch by now, heading towards the road, but there's this gun still sort of... I love the fact it's sort of suspended. It's a suspended moment. But meanwhile...
Also, of course, Loman's going to have to be supporting me.
Oh, yeah.
Half of my body is paralysed.
Had you got her up? I missed that.
I've got my arm around
I haven't.
my arm around his neck.
But
Waking me along.
Oh,
yeah. I think I probably do.
Around him.
Okay, well let's say while you were doing that, so you've got the gun in the right hand and you're helping her up with the left, and it's sort of, but it's given you a sort of noble bearing rather than.
But it's probably why I wasn't very intimidating.
And maybe why.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Blame it on the girl.
Good.
Blame it on the girl.
No. Oh, guys,
It's
come on.
outrageous every time. This is why there are no women in Lovecraft, guys.
Hey, Lovecraft's dead. Leave him be.
You can't blame it all on us. You can't.
We're reinventing. We're taking what's good, and we're leaving the dross behind.
I'm not blaming it on the woman. I'm saying it's. I don't think it's possible to be intimidating and gallant at the same time, and that's a good thing. I think he's chosen to be gallant, which I would argue is a stronger quality than being intimidating.
Oh, you smooth talker.
I love you, Dan.
Should we see those Cthulhu Mythos rolls?
Yeah. So at this point, as it's all suspended, we'll now go to those Cthulhu Mythos rolls. So if you'd already made them, please keep your result.
I haven't.
And if you haven't, let's make it now.
No, it's not quite a fumble, but it's a bad fail.
That's good. But did you roll under 3?
I did.
Oh
I rolled
God.
2.
Well, it's sort of perfect. So you sense him before you see him.
Oh, crikey.
So do you remember Winter's notes? The notes, that is to say, Withenshaw's notes from the asylum, where Winter was ranting about a number of things
Yes.
that the
In
Indian...
the real teeth of it? Something about teeth?
Yes. So this was his return to come back to the place where he first encountered...
Yes. And to face it.
So that being in the teeth of the place where the madness happened was Carstairs' advice. And you begin to understand, Wooliover, for the first time, that he came back here to confront what he believed to be a false memory of perhaps he thought was a false memory
Yes, I see. But
of
actually...
the Mygo. but actually it was a very real memory of encountering the Mygo. And you understand that through the spores, because the spores that you've recently inhaled lived in the Mygo, are a part of the Mygo. They are, in some strange way, symbiotic with, and therefore the Mygo. It's a fungus. And the thing that is approaching, he who is approaching, is not Mygo. Nothing to do with them. And the two that are flying high above stop and hover. And you begin to see the blue light, even though it's not possible to see the blue light. But the blue-eyed god approaches. And as the two men are pulling you down towards the car and heading towards the car, and there's a discussion going on between the two of them. It's as if your head can turn all the way round and you can see, but you're not even looking. It's like there's a part of your spirit, astrally perhaps, is coming out of your body. The monk used to speak of such things, of visitations of the angels and of demons.
The mobility of the soul.
Indeed. And you look, and you are the first person to see it out of the three of them. Immensely tall, broad-shouldered. His hair is long, very long, but his eyes are brilliant blue. He has sallow cheeks extended. His mouth seems to be low, either in a drool or a scream. You're not sure. He walks from the trees as if he is part of the trees. And that's when you remember Winter's words, that he walks as a tree. And you think of Capstan, saying, I've seen a tree walking.
Oh, God.
And I've seen cows flying. Could you give me a sanity check?
Oh, God. Okay.
It's intense.
I've just passed it. I've got 54. Oh, fuck. I'm one under.
Okay. You feel the brink of deeper understanding, but thankfully your mind pulls back. But because you're on a Cthulhu Mythos pass at insane levels, you don't get a D10 gain, but you understand that this is a guardian god. A lesser god of some ancient past, some fragments of all of this journey kind of start to fit together, which is Winter's obsession with finding an Indian burial ground, and that maybe just beyond, this thing seems to be connected with the earth and the mounds beyond, and you realise this thing, and you also realise that maybe a fragment of it is like the hand of Rasputin, and you long to join it and to serve it. And could you give me a power check?
They've still got his cock in the museum, haven't they?
Oh yeah. They took him out of the ice, right?
Yeah. Sorry,
The Neva River.
A very strong pass. 15 on 60.
A very strong pass. You gain D6 Cthulhu Mythos.
Ooh.
3.
3, solid, very solid.
Ooh.
You've gone up to 6 Cthulhu Mythos in a single round, and you lost 3 sanity, right?
Yes.
Now I have it that you'd already lost 2 before that. No, only 1. You'd only lost 1 before that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep doing that to people. You lost 1 sanity before that, so you've now lost 4. What is your? So that's 54. No, so it's not quite a 5th. So you are astonishingly hanging in there. At that point, Loman, because of your deeper understanding of the Cthulhu Mythos, you have just a weird tickling sensation, and you want to turn and look, and you're carrying, and you what is it that you're discussing with Allagash?
Well, I've been saying, so I wanted him to let me destroy it, and now he's made it clear that he's not going to let me, so I'm just saying, I'm just not completely comfortable taking that thing in my automobile. I think we should leave it here or destroy it. I don't believe we should be taking it back to a populated area. That's a seriously bad idea. I'm saying this while I'm still looking around.
You're a man of science, aren't you? What sort of discovery might this be? We gotta take it away from these bug-eyed freaks. They're gonna use it to try and shoot more people up.
As he
Okay,
says
right.
that, you get this weird tingling sensation behind you.
Sorry, that was just me brushing. Anyway.
He's still talking, but you get this very odd sensation that somebody's watching you from the woods.
I turn and look in the direction that I feel them.
You see an 18-foot tall
Oh, fuck.
demigod
Oh, fuck.
with bright blue eyes looking at you from between two pines. Could you roll sanity?
Fucking Sasquatch.
It's a fail.
That's 1d6 sound.
Do you roll that or do I?
I thought you'd do that.
That's kind of you. Is it?
I don't know, you can lie if you want. I don't mind.
That's a 2 sanity loss, so I am 1 sanity point away from.
So there's an involuntary action.
Yeah.
By the way, Natasha Rulyova is drooling on your arm. That's been her.
Delicious.
That's her voluntary action. Involuntary action. But her left arm, which was previously knocked out, is now gripping onto your chest as well, quite intensely.
Not in a sexy way.
No, definitely not in a sexy way.
Not in a sexy way.
More in a kind of, oh my god,
Terrifying.
what the hell is that?
Might have
So
weaved.
she's seen it too, but there's this kind of just drool coming out of her mouth. Your involuntary action, I'd like to hear what it is from you, right?
Self-soiling.
Potentially. He's been very gallant, and now he craps himself.
Just an idea.
Just an idea.
Just an idea, guys.
I don't know. I feel like the most obvious thing is that I fire off a couple of shots in the direction of this thing.
So the involuntary action is you raise your gun without even consciously thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think if it's all right with you, I think the shots are so wild. You fire 3 shots, but they're so wild. You've no idea where they go, whether they hit it. You're just unsure.
Yeah.
And this of course draws your attention. You realised, Bunyan, the spore goes. You see, I was trying to tell you it was there. Effectively, in a language that is not language. And you realised that there was that sort of scratching sensation in your mind that you'd missed something. This is what you'd missed. So could you give me a sanity check, assuming you're going to look at this thing?
Well,
But I'll give you a split second with your heightened reflexes that you currently have. That if you don't want to look at it, you could just make a run for the car.
in all honesty, I didn't forget that the main thing I felt was the presence of these miso soup characters and the blue-eyed white dragon out in the wilderness that they were scared of. I don't want to look at this thing.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
I feel too scared to look at it. I feel like, with the spore already in my mind, especially telling me I've missed something, I feel like if I turn around and look this thing face to face, my mind will fracture and I won't be there anymore. So,
as you think about the nature of minds fracturing, could you give me a power check as you feel a surge of authority come from the spore?
of course I did. 7. I'm rolling fucking well tonight.
Not only do you push it back, but you get to the car and you throw the car door open, and you see headlights coming up the track.
Headlights.
Headlights coming up the track.
Headlights, massive
A
headlights.
sea of headlights.
20 foot tall, 24 foot tall headlights. Jesus, what are you doing?
24 foot tall headlights. 24 foot tall.
24 foot. Oh, that's actually quite a good one for me.
Yeah.
24 foot tall headlights. 24 foot tall. Oh my god, I can't
That's
do it.
really tricky. But yes, I throw open the door and I chuck the golf bag, which I left my rifle up there, but it's got the cube in it. I chuck that on the back seat.
Loman, you feel an intense desire to give your life over to worshipping this blue-eyed god. Could you give me a power check?
Yeah. That's a fail. Do I want to spend any luck? I'm quite close. I think I want to spend 4 points of luck.
You're down to 13 luck.
Yep.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
fair.
Lucky for me.
And as you do so, you put your hand in your pocket in an aggressive gesture of sort of almost like a toddler going, no! and your hand hits the ice-cold bottle.
The tube.
Oh, yeah.
And you begin to realise that maybe there may be aspects of yourself that is not entirely under control. Also, given the visions that you've had particularly, I think you gain an extra insight to the fact that the Mygo want to get past this thing to get something. That's why they keep coming back here. But they seem to need humans to do it. And some chess pieces begin to fall together for his academic mind. The assistant professor is sensing this kind of reeling, vertiginous rush of understanding, and then the headlights are on the road, and this really heavy duty for the 1920s heavy duty vehicle. It's got at least 4 gears. Comes up. Yeah, I know. Did anything have 4 gears? It's got at least 3 gears.
Whoa.
And
It's got 2 gears.
At least 2 gears. Whoa, don't. Pulls up, and you see a big man step out in a sheriff's uniform, and you see a quite small, very long, dark-haired woman who, Bunyan, you recognise as Sarah Istis, step out.
From the shop?
From the hardware store. Could all 3 of you give me a spot hidden check?
Could all 3 of you give me a whistling and trying to look like nothing's going on check?
I failed my spot hidden.
I failed my spot hidden.
I failed my spot hidden.
Yeah.
Okay, they start running up the road. So the sheriff's got a shotgun out, but it's not pointed at you. It's sort of tracking the trees, and they're sort of jogging towards you. And she's holding her hand.
Sheriff's name?
She's holding her hand up. Longfellow, isn't it?
Longfellow, yeah. Hey, Longfellow! Get out of here! It's too dangerous! We need to go!
That's what we're here for. You gotta get out of here.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you.
Are we close enough to the car that I can sort of safely put Rulyova into the car?
Rulyova seems to be back on her feet, so you don't need to worry about that. I think if anything, you're worried about you, but your hand is still on that ice cold bottle.
Yeah, So once I've made sure that Rulyova is okay, either in the car or next to the car.
But you're very concerned about.
Thank you.
So you're going to try and put her into the car.
Yeah, I'd like to try and put her into the car if she'll let me.
I will let you.
Will you let? Okay.
Yes.
As the 2 of you connect through your spores, there's a tingling sensation. It's quite pleasant.
I bet it is.
Slightly unusual. But could the 2 of you roll your Cthulhu mythos again for me? Because it's the only thing you've got now going for you.
Well,
When you say the 2 of the boys, right?
No, Rulyova
You and me.
Loman.
Ooh.
That was a no for Loman.
that's a no.
It's a bang on.
Oh my god.
6 on 6.
What?
6 on a 6. That's 2 Cthulhu mythos pass. 1 under 3. So you rolled a 2 and a 6.
I don't know what to say, guys.
It's legendary.
That's
Legendary.
I think I need some new dice.
You
I don't think
realise
it's necessarily a good thing.
You realise as Longfellow takes the knee and trains the shotgun in the woods, you just see a blue tinge to his eye, and you look at Istas, and her eyes are blue,
Oh no.
and she's sort of walking towards you, going, "It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be absolutely fine."
I don't see this, right?
No, neither you nor Bunyan see this, but also neither of you get the insight. So the mythos insight, I think, is this, Natasha Rulyova. It suddenly dawns on you that you remember something from some of your reading around the area of Native American Indians, and all of this information about the Narragansett that Professor Winter was interested in.
Yes.
You suddenly remember something completely disassociated with this eastern coastal grouping of tribes, and you remember something about the far southwest, reading something about the Blue Lytton caves of the Knayan people, and it just lines up for you, and something about the spores surges through you as well, and you realise you've got this right, is that these blue-eyed folks are somehow connected with that ancient old lost tribe of Native Americans. It's a rushing instant revelation,
Yeah.
And then you're back in the woods. Now, Loman and Bunyan, you're getting in the car, right?
No,
Yeah.
No.
that's not what I wanted to do.
No.
Oh.
I wanted to put Rulyova. I mean, obviously,
Rulyova is being bundled into the car.
As I bundle her into the car, I just wanted to make sure that she was safe, and then I, with my hand on my tube
Flask.
I turn on my heel and I grit my teeth and I sprint towards this enormous figure in the woods.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Wow.
And Bunyan.
Do I see that?
Yeah. He just runs. He sprints. He goes.
I starting the car.
You're gonna go around to the other side of the car.
I'm making noises
Yeah, I want to
of
get in the driver's
distress.
suit.
Now, Rulyova, you were kind of in the driving seat. I got the impression. So are you gonna make way, or is it
Just
right hand
squash
side,
her
left hand
over.
side?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely. There's no way I can drive. So yes, I'm going to try and pull myself over with my right arm and make noises of distress.
No, you can move. No, you can move. Your body is returning to normal.
Oh, it is okay.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Then yes.
So are you starting the car?
In which case, well,
So Bunyan, are you getting into the car?
I guess I could jump in the back.
I think
but
no.
my instinct is to drive because I
my
feel
instinct-
like you're only just back to consciousness.
Yeah, that's exactly my instinct. Is that
So
my
maybe
body
you
might be
crawl
returning,
across.
but I'm probably not good enough to drive yet.
Okay, so you
But-
slide
but if-
over.
I think as I'm starting the car, if this is fair to say, in the same way as I'm turning the car, I want to have a look at Natasha and sort of, could I do like maybe a psychology check to see how sort of, does she look mental? Does she look as insane as Loman who just ran into the woods?
Of course.
Or, what's my psychology? My psychology's not great, but it's worth a go, right? 41, my psychology is 40. I'll spend 1 luck to get a success on that. If that's
I mean, I
all right.
suppose if I hadn't put all my points in agronomy, engineering, pilot aircraft, I
Mate,
might have stood a better chance.
Agronomy means you'll survive for the next 5,000 years raising spores on this farmland. You'll be fine.
Spore fruit that everyone can
Spore
enjoy.
fruit. Exactly. So I succeed on that.
Okay, yeah, so there's something that she's just seen that has really upset her, and she is looking back at Istas and Longfellow. And you turn around. Could you give me your famous spot hidden with a bonus die?
Yeah.
Now that
let's
you
do
know,
this.
now that you're looking for something.
Yeah, now that I know the direction at least. Thank fuck for a bonus die, as we've all said more than once. 57. I'm going to spend 2 to make it a success. 2 luck.
Wow.
So I just succeed.
You see this blue tinge to Sarah Istas's eyes as she's running up to you, and she begins to bring out from behind her a long black object.
Yeah. I mean, if it's fair to say, as soon as I see the blue tint to the eyes, and I've already seen Natasha's reaction, I haven't reloaded yet, have I?
You can hear Istas saying, "We can get you out of here."
But who's she running towards? Me?
You
Or
guys.
look?
They're running to the
Over
truck.
to the car.
Yeah, over to the car.
I want to reload my Thompson.
You've, as far as I recall, I think you've still got 10
You have
shells.
got 10 shells in there.
That's very true, yes. Oh, yes, because actually, the second one, I was just very lucky on the first couple of rounds, wasn't I?
I think you
in
decided
which
you'd only
case-
fire 20 or 18 even.
Yeah. In which case, I don't really want to shoot her, but I get the impression that it isn't her. And what's she drawing out from behind her? I can't quite tell, but it looks
you
like
can't-
she's
you
pulling
can't-
something out
yeah,
whilst running towards us.
Yeah.
Instinct kicks in. I've just blown 2 space beetles apart. I think the gun's being raised again. I think I step away from the driver's door. Engine's still sort of humming. And raise the weapon around the side of the car. I think she's about to come round.
So I had it that you were in the car. So you weren't ever actually finished.
Okay,
in the
so
car.
yeah, I was in
getting
the car.
You're getting back out of the
engine
car.
going, chatting to Natasha. Yeah, so maybe that's like 2 goes actually. It's I think like so I see where she's looking, why she looks disturbed. I see the eyes through the like windows, of the car as she's running around going, "Hey, I can help you," pulling something out. It all looks a bit dodgy. So my move will be to step back out of the car, yeah.
So you step back out of the car. So Loman... Or actually, no. Natasha, is there anything you want to do? You're sat in the passenger seat. You can see him. He's changed his mind. He's going back. He looked at you intensely. Now he's stepped back out. He's got the Thompson. He's going back out.
I'll pull myself into the driving seat again.
So you'll slide back over to the driving seat.
Yeah.
Fair play.
And you look directly ahead, and you see Rasputin there, standing by the bonnet. And he's just going like this. He's just beckoning with a hand. And he sort of points to the track. And his eyes are not blue.
Well, there is that.
Loman, you're running
Yeah.
towards this. What's going through your mind as you're doing this? Anything, or is it just a blank of...
What's going through my mind is that
Your business has collapsed and your sons don't have any respect for you.
this is a vision.
Just a travelling salesman.
This is a vision that's come from the woods. I don't believe what my eyes are telling me, that it's a giant figure. I mean, I don't. Is it a tree-like person, or is it a tree that is? Or is it a person-like tree? I don't know. But I kind of know that it's not real. It must be a vision caused by the inhalation of all these spores. You know, I used to be a crop duster. I know that if you got a lung full of the pesticides, you could see some weird shit. But there's something. It's a message. There's something. These trees have been my safe harbor. So just something, instinct tells me that this is the place to go, and I'm getting a sensation that this thing in my pocket that I've got my hand on might be the answer. Whether it's the thing that these creatures are chasing. It's something about the fact that I was saying to Allagash that I didn't want that object in my car, that I thought we should leave it behind. It's just a sudden realization that actually maybe that was a red herring. There's nothing about that object that's dangerous at all. I have the thing. That's the problem. So I'm thinking all these things in fragments, but just running, trying to get to the tree line, basically.
So you're not running towards this godlike 18 foot tall
godlike thing is really there, but is it in the tree line?
The tree line. It is in the tree line. It is in that.
That's what I'm heading for. I'm heading for exactly that.
And you suddenly begin to realise that although your feet are moving, they're not on the earth. And you see black volumes pulse down in front of you in beams. One goes in front, one goes to your right. You feel this intense cold, but you yourself are sort of moved agilely, like a ballet dancer, between these beams.
Am I doing that myself?
No. And you see the hand of this god lifting you up, but not actually holding you. It's just kind of gesturing, and you're lifted off the ground, and your feet stop moving, and you feel your chest sort of going towards it, and it says to you,
You are infected, but you know how to purify yourself.
and the most intricate, elegant spiral of light appears and starts to undo the stopper of the bottle, and the wax, even though you're sort of, whatever you're trying to do, you're just fixed in place, and the stopper kind of pops out, and this bottle is open there in your hands. You become aware of Longfellow walking towards the house off to your left. You can just sort of see him out of your peripheral vision, and he's scanning, and he's looking at the body of the Mygo, and he's sort of looking at things. To cut back to the car, Allagash.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to stay near the door and wait for her if she was making her way around to us to emerge. Because in an ideal world, whatever's happening right now, I don't want to kill either of those people. Because A, they're potential allies, if not already, and B, I need backup. Something big is happening here, and I'm an old guy who has a lot more young people I could call on. So, you know, in an ideal world, I get to drive out of here. But as soon as I saw her running and pulling something from behind her back or whatever she was doing, so I'm basically waiting by the open door of the car with a levelled Thompson, waiting to see what happens.
So she sees the Thompson and slows to a halt and goes, hey, I don't, and it's just the left arm up. I don't mean anything. And then she just swings the barrel of this thing. So it's a dexterity move.
I should have known. I should have just gone for it. But, you know, you second guess yourself. Right. My dex is only 40.
Yeah, so she's got the drop on you.
Where is she positioned? Sorry, is she in front of the car?
No, she's behind the car.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hang on.
So she's running around the back of the car. You've
could reverse.
shifted over into the
It
driver's
would
seat
be
by the open
it
driver's door.
could be
like-
it would be a hell of a reverse maneuver. She's a good 20 feet away.
Right. Okay.
But you could. I mean, obviously, you do have apparently an undead apparition beckoning you forwards, pointing down a track that leads deeper into the forest, but technically away from the house. So yeah, she unleashes a black void beam.
Every time.
And you've got a dodge
Give you a bit of
chance.
the jippy tummy there.
Yeah, definitely.
She was on the Guinness last night.
She was on the Guinness, exactly. So you've got to dodge, or you're going to be hit by that.
Yeah. I want to dodge by sort of throwing myself into the side of the car. Like, I don't really want to abandon the gun. I want to just chuck myself.
Oh, so it's sort of more into the cover of the car, yeah. So you get a bonus die because of your physical capacity to do that.
Oh, yeah. That's a recent lovely thing. Dodge. Oh, God, it's not great, is it? Right. Oh, okay. Well, I may as well roll the bonus just in case.
Might do it.
So I got a 0-9. A 0-9.
So you're going back into the body of the vehicle, right?
Sort of, yeah, into the side of it,
Sort
behind the door.
This thing goes across. Natasha Rulyova, and we will get back to Charles Logan, who's in a unique position. But Natasha Rulyova, you have the car running.
I do.
Rasputin is before you. Estas is behind you. And she's just unleashed one of these void weapons, even though you get this distinct sense from the spore within you that they belong to these terrible fungoid creatures. But I mean, hey, you know, maybe there's been a standoff here before.
I think I definitely don't want to follow Rasputin. I'm freaked out by him.
Yeah.
He repulses me, even though I feel very, very drawn to him and want to do what he says. The stronger part of my mind, the stronger part of my mind says,
Yeah.
So I'd like to whack the car into reverse.
Do it.
Cool, man.
So driving roll.
Try and knock her over.
Sick.
God, wish me luck, guys. This could be...
Good luck, studio.
Okay, that's fine.
Duh.
Oh, it's a fail. Damn it.
Ooh.
Would you like how much of a fail was it?
A big fail.
Would you like to push the roll?
Oh, shit.
Yes.
What's your drive auto?
Oh.
25.
25. the classic plus 5%.
We're in the game now, right?
Well, wait. Don't tell us what the result is. Describe to us how Rulyova digs deep for this reverse maneuver.
So Rasputin's hand beckoning her into the woods. She wants to follow him with everything in her sort of young, youthful self. Who she was when she was in Russia. She wants to give up and follow someone else who can carry the can. She's very tired of being strong all the time. But she knows that. But she knows that to do that would be to abandon her friends and her current mission. It would be an the absolutely most selfish move that she could make. So she slaps herself in the face. And then she throws the car into reverse, screaming just incomprehensible. And then hits the gas.
I mean, you're describing all of that knowing what you rolled, so I'm really hoping it was a pass.
It was a pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 23 on a 25.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you charge. So as you know, Sarah Istas wants to move this fire across to pin both the vehicle and Allagash down. But you charge straight at her, and that's enough to force her to do a dodge. And the beam goes off, and she rolls expertly away off the road into the leaves and the woods.
Of course she does.
But you kind of roar back down. Allagash, because you sort of dodged into it, and it was such a good dodge, I will give you a free handhold on that. So you've got a kickstart into that car if you want it. Well, not into it, but like you could grab hold of the sideboard, the running board. Oh my God! You get to do the Thompson on the running board.
So potentially I could like grab onto the like little handhold inside the door on the roof and just take a ride as it like zooms back. I'll do that, yeah. And I want to do that as well. I probably don't have time, but I want to like grab on as you reverse back. I want to like swing round the submachine gun and try and like do an arc across wherever she's jumping in the woods.
Oh no, so she's quite a long far behind you, unfortunately, in that sense. So I suppose you could grab with your left hand and then try and shoot her as you're going past, I suppose. Yeah, okay, I can give you that. Although that will be a heavy minus. I mean, also, do you actually want to kill her?
No.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, for me, I'm kind of thinking, well, I was just about to start selling my lobsters in her shop. I mean, that's not the biggest thing. I distribute a lot around this county. But
that's not the biggest thing.
It's more the fact that, like, the more people who are found dead here,
the fewer people will buy your lobsters.
Questions and yeah, exactly. So I don't really want to kill her. So I mean, I don't. Okay, I'll hold off basically. So I want to see if she starts coming back all aggressive, I'll kill her. But if she's run away, it gives us time to regroup.
Great. So as you continue reversing, or are you stopping?
Stop.
Yeah. So, but you pan around with the gun. She's clearly backing off behind a tree. She's sort of scrabbled behind a tree, and there's a shout to her, to Longfellow, which you think you hear something like, "I think they're going to make a run for it." And Longfellow goes, "Let them go."
Let them go. They're so boring,
dude.
Bro.
They're totally lame. Just let them go.
Not cool, man.
Do we hear that? It's just so not cool.
You hear him say that in a considerably less Keanu Reeves in Point Break sort of voice, more like a sheriff. So, Loman, you hear a shotgun discharged into the central body of the Mygo that was outside the front of Carstairs' house in the woods. And somehow through the power of the thing that is holding you literally 10 feet above the ground by some sort of telekinetic power, you realise that creature, the Mygo, is now finally dead. The headshot isn't what killed it. So the sheriff seemed to know. He stuck his shotgun into the middle of it and shot it what looked like its stomach. And the thing is now dead. And then he starts to run over to the house and is sort of taking cover. You're aware of this as in the way in which you would be aware of the way in which a rat moves, because you're now in the presence of a godhood. This bottle is in your hand. This flask is in your hand.
So the knowledge that I was given about this flask implied that to drink it was to give you the power to travel through space and time in some way, right?
Indeed.
Okay, I just want to make it absolutely clear that I do not want to do that. That is the absolute last thing I want.
The other thing that it was very clear that you understood was the spore cannot live through the experience.
You are infected.
The god says.
Yeah.
So not cool, man. This is so not cool.
But Loman, there is another far more straightforward and final way in which he can purify himself.
This could end very differently to how I was expecting.
Loman is going to take this tube. The stopper's off, is it? The stopper's come off.
And it has given you a choice. That's very clear. Even though you're sort of fixed above the ground, you can feel your legs and hands are free, but your body is not really your own in that sense.
I'm going to hurl the tube towards this thing and say, do with this what you see fit, and throw it.
Very good. Very good.
And then draw my gun and place it in my mouth and pull the trigger.
Oh, Christ.
Could you give me a power check?
Yeah. Failed.
So your hand comes, you see the bottle spinning, and it's like there's a field, stops it, and you see this beautiful trail of silver liquid, and it looks like it has stars in it. It looks like it's made of something indescribable, and it's sort of hanging there like molten globules in the air. Well, clearly the blue-eyed god is doing that. And your hand comes up, and the sight of the gun meets your lip, and the spore control your hand, and you can't do what your whole will is telling you. They're physically stopping you, and the god's head begins to extend. You can't quite tell if it's drooling into a sort of black mouth or kind of screaming. But its mouth doesn't move when it speaks, but it speaks in your mind, and it says,
They are almost at your brain.
Christ.
Let me help you.
First it was the sky above, and now it's inside me. I just want it all to be over. Tell me what to do.
his hand that is still outstretched closes, and your internal organs combust, and you die. And he just drops to the ground. Loman drops to the floor, dead.
Shit.
But with the other hand, the god sort of takes this swirl of blue silver starlight and throws it at the car, and it sort of spreads out as it's coming towards the two of you. And although the two of you dodge as best you can, it crawls all over you as if guided by an invisible hand. And the last thing the two of you remember is it sort of reaching up towards your eyes, and this orange, intense light that you've experienced once before, Bunyan, for seeing the world so clearly. And there's still these two hovering, buzzing creatures desperately trying to break into the scene, but they seem to be held away by a field. And then they too disappear into a whiteness. And the two of you come to in a lobster shack off the river. Bunyan, you recommend, and you recognise Jacques de la Grasse in front of you. He's a rum old cove. Claims to be from the south, but you know that he was Bangor born and bred. And he says, Boss, you okay? Oh, thank God.
Jack.
You and this dame. We found you in a battered old car. Been trying to bring you around for like 20 minutes now. You must have had a hell of a night.
Okay.
Looks like you drank this. What the hell is that? And he holds up this.
Here, whoa. Give that here. I assume it's the... Am I wrong?
No, it's the flask.
It is the flask. I snatch it from him and I say, "Yeah, give that here. Sorry, bit of a night, all right. All I'm left with is the distinct impression that my next character is gonna be an Icelandic physician named well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Magnimus globules or whatever he said. Anyway, yeah. Well, thank you, boys. Get us the platter. Lobster, breakfast. I turn to Natasha and say, how you feeling?
I feel like I will never be able to eat lobster again.
Cancel a lobster. Yeah, me too. I was just being polite. I don't think I can look at anything again. Least of all a crustacean. Jesus Christ. Here. What's your name?
Jack.
Yeah, Jack Cousteau. Where did you find us?
You were in the car. Somebody gave us a tip-off. We came down here.
Yeah, whereabouts?
What,
Here?
so you don't know where you are. I mean, so you've been to this place before. You're a few miles outside of Bangor.
Yeah. So you found us here in the car park.
Yeah.
So I had a heavy night. What are you gonna do? Kill me?
So you're both kind of getting your heads and your minds together. You've got this horrible image. The last thing you really remember seeing was the body of Charles Lohman being sort of crushed by an invisible hand and then just sort of dropping to the ground. It actually makes you feel quite intensely ill to think about it roll you over. And you make your excuse to go to the restaurant. And as you go in, the electric light's a bit fuzzy in there. Although it's daytime, it's quite dark. Yes, and you go into the restroom, and you're not sick. You splash some water over your face, and your head comes up, and you look in the mirror, and you see a slight blue glow to your eyes.
Christ.
3 months following the missing persons case of Chuck Lohman is reported by Sheriff Longfellow and is never denied by Natasha Rulyova or Allagash Bunyan. There's a moving address by Alice Devereaux. Rulyova and Bunyan, do you attend to the service?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Is it the first time you've seen each other
Yes.
since the events?
I would have thought so. Yeah.
So you're there by now. It's it's nearly October. You find yourselves in a kind of blustery, slightly rain-swept Bangor cemetery, and Devereaux catches both of your eyes afterwards, but doesn't come over to speak to you. It's too emotional for her. She's read this moving eulogy. It is assumed to be a eulogy because the remains of Chuck Lohman have never been found.
Yeah, of course.
It's tough for you, Rulyova and Bunyan. Perhaps the presence of Buster there by Bunyan makes things slightly easier.
Hey, boy.
He's by Bunyan's side.
But why should a dog live if a man has died?
Very true.
So I'm not like sentimental Americans with dogs. Dogs are for working. They're not your friend.
Yeah.
You feed them, they do their job.
I don't know. I know a lot of people like that. Sounds like humans to me.
Do you say anything else to each other?
How are you, Mr. Bunyan? Are you well?
I'm okay. Yeah. Me and Buster been just angling, trying to get back to the old the fishing pools. What
Do
about
you have
yourself?
any of your? Yes.
Yeah.
The bounds of my life are smaller, and so easier to assume once again. Do you have any of your?
Oh, of course. And I sort of pat myself down again, doing a sort of melancholy bongo routine. Sort of check the angling flies, the tobacco, the ammunition, and then finally. Oh no, you didn't want the jerky, did you? You were after the. He takes out his hip flask.
The lobster moonshine.
A new batch. named it Loman.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's
I
meaty.
think he really liked it.
Yes, it's singular. She takes a
single
little
malt.
shot. She takes a little shot at the single malt lobster. Lobster poutine.
I say, I tell you what, Miss Rolyova, you keep that. It's like it's a nice silver, the hip flask. And it's,
Oh no, I
it's got-
couldn't do that.
She says, putting it into her pocket.
Yeah, it's got Bunyan engraved on it, and he sort of says, "No, you keep that, and keep it filled, huh? And anytime, you ever get bored with the female postmaster life, let me know. I'm sure I could find some use for you in the lobster company."
Mr. Bunyan, are you flirting with me?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, Buster, was I flirting? I can't tell.
And they
Shut up, boy.
twinkle at each other.
Yeah.
And I like to think that they exchange a little smile.
And
Yeah.
it's a smile that's witnessed by Alice Devereaux as she's over by the memorial stone that's been put into the university plot here, the Bangor Main University plot. And a posthumous
Doctorate.
has been awarded to former assistant professor Charles Chuck Lohman. He's now Dr. Charles Lohman. A number of eager students who enjoyed studying agronomy with Lohman are around her, and they say their farewells. A particularly long, lean fellow is the last to leave, and even offers, in a gallant gesture, perhaps imitating Lohman himself, a handkerchief. He has sandy hair, a slightly Lego-like look to his face. It's almost as if he sort of styled himself in Lohman's
Image.
well, style would be perhaps an exaggeration, but Devereaux smiles, but she too takes out a hip flask when she thinks she's being unobserved and pours a little bit of the whiskey onto the stone, puts it into her pocket, seems to wipe a tear away from under her eye and walks away. And some 150 miles away, the earth around an ancient Indian mound seems to simmer slightly with sympathies as the last traces of Charles Chuck Lohman's conscious mind begins to realize that a part of it is still alive.
And always will be.